Hello again, Beyond the Gates fans. Once again, got to go live this week with my reviews because my little competition reality show web series, The Traders, based on The Traders OCG, will be airing their second episode tonight at in about a half an hour from here. If you haven't watched last night's episode, the part one of the premiere, you got time to watch that tonight and then watch the second episode right after. Um, as for today's Beyond the Gates, it was similar to yesterday in that I don't feel like there is a ton to talk about. And they also pissed me off today with that little fake out between Martin and Bill. So we might as well just start with Martin and Bill. Martin was upset because Bill's been dangling this information that he has on Martin to Smitty. And so that is why Martin tried to confront Bill today. But Bill does have the upper hand on Martin because Bill has this blackmail on Martin. And Bill likes to throw it in Martin's face that he's the one that kind of covered this up for Martin. So, as we saw, Martin tried and failed in that confrontation. But then it seemed like once Martin found out from Bill and Hayley that Hayley's pregnant, Martin went off in the scene. And I thought, I give the actor that plays Martin a lot of crap sometimes. But in this scene today, I thought he did a pretty good job. I think he has his best scenes with Bill. And as I said before, a lot of characters actually have their best scenes with Bill. I feel like Timon brings it out of him, ironically, except for Hayley. Hayley just needs a lot of work in general, both in acting and as a character. But yeah, that fake out, hated it. Because that was actually like the best scene this week so far on the soap. And so when your best scene ends up being a fake out, I think it's a disappointment. This is not Passions, and the show should not try to become Passions because Passions sucked. And yeah, I know even Bill Bell used to do some fake outs on The Young and the Restless, and that's where James E. Riley got it from on Passions. But I've never loved a fake out, but especially one in the middle of an episode. So yeah, hated that. I guess you can say maybe it adds to Martin's anger issues, and I guess we get to see what goes on in Martin's head and what he wanted to do, and he wanted to get a little violent with Bill, but he didn't. He contained himself this time. But I do wish they wouldn't have done the fake out. As for Hayley's pregnancy, Chelsea found that out in yesterday's episode. Today goes to tell her mother, Dani, that Hayley is pregnant with Bill's child. And Dani tries to take it well, but in typical Dani style, eventually she's getting a little manic about it. She's starting to say at first, oh, maybe Hayley actually cheated on Bill, and this isn't Bill's baby. Bill's so old. Maybe Hayley has a side piece and got pregnant by that person. I think that was wishful thinking from Dani. And then her next thing was, oh, well, maybe Hayley's actually faking it. And my favorite part about this scene with Dani and Chelsea was Chelsea's reactions to her mother. Chelsea can't stand Dani's overdramatic ass sometimes with eye rolls. I love their relationship as mother and daughter, and I like when Chelsea, is giving shit back to Dani. As for Dani thinking maybe Hayley is faking the pregnancy, I wouldn't put it past Hayley. We know next to nothing about Hayley as a character. They've done a really shit job of building her up as a character. They've had the past 3 months to actually add more to her character. And I do feel like they have failed with that character of Hayley. So this revelation that she's pregnant, the character kind of needs a crutch like this pregnancy to actually be a little more interesting to me. So, by the end of the episode, Dani's going to confront Hayley again. We've seen this many a times. from Dani just randomly getting in Bill and Hayley's house, which I think is just kind of lazy writing sometimes on this show, by the way people just get into people's houses. But I guess we have to have confrontations somewhere. And I don't want to take it out on the show for not having enough sets, because they actually have more sets than a lot of these other soaps that are still on the air these days. Uh, I guess overall, it's a little stale. The whole Dani Hayley rivalry for Bill. I think it's lost a lot of momentum over the past 3 months. And similar to what I said yesterday, and I think I've been saying this since last week too, is that without the Leslie Eva story, the rest of the stories, they do just need some work for sure. What else happened today? I guess the only other big thing, because I'm not gonna go on about Derek and Ashley's boring relationship. I mean, the show literally called them boring today too. But to me, it's just like, okay, the show knows they're boring. The writers know Ashley and Derek are boring. Why are they wasting time? I fast forwarded a lot of Derek, Ashley, Naomi, Jacob scenes today because I just don't care. I guess I should mention that Naomi and Jacob did run into Hayley at one point, and Hayley was telling them that she and Bill were celebrating. I was surprised that Hayley didn't throw it in Naomi's face that she's pregnant with Bill's child. So I guess she still has that to hang over Naomi's head in the future, I suppose. But I just don't care about Hayley right now. I did actually kind of care about Jessica and Tyrell today, and Tyrell totally fumbling that kiss. And Tyrell kind of spoke about a lot of us that the audience were thinking with this story over the past month or more. Just what does Jessica want with Tyrell? Was she there just because somebody put her up to this? Was she there just because she feels sorry for Tyrell? That's what Tyrell confronted her about after they ended up kissing. But it was just a lot of his insecurities coming through. And she's upset, obviously, because he's throwing all these accusations at her after they kissed. And she leaves in a huff, calling him a toxic, insecure trash, which was a lot. Smitty walked in right as she was calling Tyrell that. I think this actually added to these two younger characters for me personally. I'm not hating their potential relationship, not loving it either. Their kissing today, was pretty dry, but so is so is Thomas and Kat's dry kissing. So I'm not going to take that out of them. So I guess that adds dimension to that potential younger couple that I don't hate. And that was kind of the episode. In my notes, I have my favorite line of the day was Dani saying that she likes to turn lemon into limoncello. That was hilarious because Dani's always gonna think about alcohol, and she did turn to tequila today after learning that Hayley is indeed pregnant. Lastly, per usual, let me go over a few comments I had in yesterday's video. It's not the most exciting week, so I didn't have the most exciting comments either. But I do appreciate all the comments, so please do keep commenting, but I only had 3 yesterday. Blatant Truth said, we have a Sharon sighting, but I don't know how you're going to feel about it. Bonita Brisker. Yes, I looked this up after you commented this yesterday. Never heard of her. Don't know who she is. I hope she is good as Sharon, because like I said yesterday, I need that character of Sharon to be like against Anita and have the acting chops to pull that off. And one of my big issues with the show overall has been the casting sometimes. Ronald Dobbins says, I don't think that Smitty believed Martin. I believe he'll start investigating. I mean, I hope so, but I still need Smitty to push back more on Martin for me to be more excited about Smitty as a character in general. And then Ronald Dobbins also said, I'm expecting a lot from Sharon and Dante Green. I am too. I'm hoping both of those characters can make Anita a more exciting character. I also hope, since I believe I've seen a preview picture of tomorrow's episode, that Leslie is back tomorrow. So I hope that means for more exciting episodes starting tomorrow. Because the last two weren't my favorite, especially just the fake out today. That really did piss me off. And I hope they don't do more fake outs. We don't need them. Once again, let me just say this is not Passions. Anyway, thank you all for joining me per usual. I will try to be back tomorrow. And reminder, my little competition reality show is on in about 18 minutes right here on the channel. I try and edit very soap opera-y in that show sometimes, so you should check it out, even if you're just a soap opera fan and not a competition reality fan. It's still a fun time, and the drama will start simmering up on that show tonight.